The next part I'm going to model is the follower guide because it introduces a new skill. It's kind of sitting upside down of the way it gets used, but that's okay. We will extrude a circle first for the cylindrical part here that gets inserted into the box, and then this tapered part is created with a loft. So we'll have to learn how to create an offset work plane and sketch. Another thing to note is when we go to cut the square hole, I usually want about 30 thousandths allowance for a clearance fit, and you'll notice 30 thousandths would be about 0.220 or 0.219, and in this case I am 0.225 off of my 3/16. When you buy your stock, you'll want to measure it and try to come up with an average. You can always do some sanding, but we don't want to have to do too much of that. So you're going to need to adjust your size on your square holes, especially on the parts that need some clearance. Okay, so we'll head back over to Inventor, and I'm going to build the part right side up. So that means this time, instead of building on the XY plane, I'm going to start drawing on the XZ plane. So we'll go ahead and draw a circle, make sure it's centered at the origin, 1/2 inch diameter. The shortcut key on the keyboard is E to extrude, so notice this time I hit the E button on my keyboard and it automatically started an extrusion without finishing the sketch. So then I'll extrude that 1/2 inch, and as soon as I finish that, it does change and go back to the 3D model tab. I'll do a 2D sketch on that top face of the cylinder that I have, and then I need to get a circle make sure it is centered at the same center point, 3/4 of an inch. Finish that sketch. And the next thing I need to do is I need a sketch of a 1/2 inch diameter circle up here. So in order to do that, I'm going to start a sketch, and this time instead of just clicking this face, I'm just hovering, I'm going to click and drag and start moving up. And you'll see that that gives me, I can drag to the exact value, or in the dialog box I can type the offset that I need, which in this case is 3/4 of an inch, 0.75. Okay, so I'm going to go back and select my home key because I want to see this happen. I could go ahead and draw a 1/2 inch circle there, or how does that project geometry tool really work? I selected a project geometry and I click that circular face, and it projects that geometry up to my offset sketch. So a loft is one of those tools that uses a minimum of 2 sketches to construct a loft. So now I'll select my loft tool after finishing my sketch, and the loft tool does have a few more things going on with the dialog box. You still have the options of join, cut, and intersect. And what does it say to do? It says click to add a sketch. So I'm going to click to add a sketch and then say select a sketch. So I'm going to go over and hover and point at my larger circle, and then I have to click to add a second sketch, and then I can go and hover at my projected sketch, and that completes the loft. That work plane that got created If I don't want to look at that one and I don't really need that one, I'll turn the visibility of that plane off. So like the others, I'll use my polygon tool with 4 sides. Draw the square. Square up one of the sides with the horizontal tool. Dimension. And then do a cut extrusion. And make sure I cut all. And of course, once I have that, this time, the work planes I'll want my XY plane visible and my Y-axis. And if you want to change to ABS plastic and give it a paint job, you can. And that's the follower guide.